City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, and the Foxes, Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Leicester Fan TV. It is Thursday once again, so it is time for a Fox's Focus show. We've got a few bits to talk about tonight. We can have a little chat about the Shrewsbury game that happened a few days ago. And we can also now look forward to the game tomorrow night against Palermo in Chesterfield. Not against Chesterfield, in Chesterfield against Palermo. Very weird, but we'll talk about it. Also, put comments in the chat. Let me know that you're here and let me know what you want to talk about, because we can talk about whatever you want to do today. And we'll talk about maybe a couple transfers that might be happening, might not be happening. Who knows? So, yeah, as I said, leave a comment. Let me know you're here. As I said, welcome to Leicester Fan TV, and again, it's the Fox's Focus show. Reedy's in the chat. Here we go, Reedy. Part-timer's back. Yeah, thanks, mate. Well, if you're going to try and throw shade at me, the reason Reedy ain't here, everyone, is because he's been on a date. So there's one for you. Matty Bond is here. Evening, Locks. Hope you're well. Evening to you, Matty, mate. I'm going to put the link in the chat, Matty, if you want to come and have a chat. It's been a while, mate, since we've had a chat. I'm going to put the link in, so come and have your say about anything, really. You let me know. Dawn's here, as always. Hi, Locks, and all hi to you, Dawn. Thanks for watching. Chris Tidd says, good evening, Locks. Definitely need a few more in. Nelson would be a good start. Reece Nelson. We'll talk about that. Here's the link. If you're on YouTube and Facebook, just click that link, sign in, and you'll be able to come and have your say on a couple different things. Yeah. Terry Fuller, £10 to watch a friendly club treating us as customers again. Let's talk about this. Let's start with this, guys. Let me know in the chat what you thought to this. So if anyone has been hiding under a rock, last summer, the club launched Fox's Hub, which is a platform on the Leicester website where you can watch Leicester content. You know, they've got videos and stuff like that, but more importantly is they show certain games. So last season in the EFL, with different broadcasting rules, they were able to actually show the Leicester games to anyone abroad if you paid a certain amount. I don't know what the fee was abroad, but in the UK, you could watch certain games for £10 a game. So, which is fair enough. I mean, you know, people would want it to be cheaper, but maybe that is the law. Maybe they do have to charge £10. I don't know. But the thing that's really pissed a lot of people off is that they tried to, well, they did charge £10 a game to watch Leicester City versus Shrewsbury the other night. And I imagine it will be the same £10 to watch Palermo tomorrow. For me, it's shocking to try and charge £10 to watch a pre-season friendly, especially in the Shrewsbury game against subpar opposition. And, you know, the thing that got me is that surely the club, because there was a big, you know, a negative reaction from a lot of people for the Steve Cooper appointment. And you'd think that they'd try and get people on board to want to watch Steve Cooper. Let us see the team in action for the first game. The first game back in pre-season. It's not a competitive game. Well, you know, a little bit competitive, but it's not a hard-fought match. It's nothing special. It's not a blockbuster. People want to tune in to watch. You know, if it was Brendan Rodgers 4 years in, I don't think many people would want to watch it. But because it's Steve Cooper and it's the first game under a new manager with some new players, people are excited to actually see how we played. And the fact that they tried to charge £10 for it, whether it's for FFP reasons to try and get as much money in the coffers as possible, or I don't care. It's abysmal. And I'll be honest. I didn't pay to watch it. I watched it, but I didn't pay £10. That's what I'll say. So it's and anyone else who does it, who did that, who didn't pay and still watched it, well done, because this is, it's times like this and decisions like this that just makes the fan go, this would never have happened under Vishay, these types of decisions, or even if a decision like this was made, it would have been backtracked. And I just find it crazy. Along with the £25 physical season ticket decision, again, not even a financial reason, because they just donated it all to charity, which, by the way, they've confirmed today is £250,000 or £270,000, and you can choose which charity that goes to. But yeah, I mean, because there was another motive behind that. It was to try and get everyone signing up to the web. It's all to do with, so they've got a list of names in the ground, and to cut down on paper, say, paper tickets and stuff like that, or whatever. The world's gone nuts. But anyway, that's a different story. This was a purely a financial decision by the club. They thought, all right, let's charge people £10 to watch Leicester versus Shrewsbury, and I bet it was cheaper to go. Does anybody in the chat who went, let me know how much it was for a ticket? I bet it was £5. I think the game tomorrow is £5. I think I've paid £5. I think it's £5. I'm sure it is. Maybe £10. But yeah, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Dawn says, if I was at home, I wouldn't have to pay. Say no more. Yeah, exactly, Dawn. £13 it was for Chesterfield. Not Shrewsbury, sorry. Chris Tidd, it is a good way to see new fringe players as well. And we, as fans, make a judgment. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Really poor from our club. It's one of many issues, totally disconnected with the fan base. Dawn says £5, surely no more for a friendly. Well, my point, Dawn, would be that last season the friendlies were free. So I got to watch Liverpool last season on the Foxes Hub, and I think it was on YouTube at the time, and it was completely free. And I have to pay to watch Shrewsbury, which I didn't, So Carl says, hey, Locks, watch from Nicosia, Cyprus. Hi, Carl, mate. Thanks for coming in. Much appreciated. Trying to get some back after the FFP debacle. Yeah, well, they're still spending big money on players, so. I saw Newcastle today release something where they charged £26 to watch 6 games. So they did a package where people could pay £26 to watch all 6 of their preseason friendlies. Now, even that, you'd be more likely to do, motorbike, even that you'd be more likely to do or be more willing to do, because, £26, I'm not great at maths. Someone do the math for me. It's less than a £5 a game, isn't it? Is it? Hold on. The math ain't math in here. Yeah, it's about £5 a game. It's just over £5 a game. So, that makes more sense. But £10 a game is no comment. I know someone going tomorrow night, they're paying £10 tickets. Yeah, I think it might be kids that are £5, Simon. Apologies, mate. £4.30 a game, Patrick. Thanks for doing the maths, mate. It's too late in the day and too late in the week for me to be doing maths. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. What should we talk about next? Well, let's talk about the friendly quickly. It was interesting, as I said. It was interesting to watch the Shrewsbury game to see how we set up, because apparently, from what we saw online, against Villarreal last week, we played a 4-4-2 or some type of system to that effect. We had Vardy and Cannon on the pitch at the same time, I think, at one point. But I think it was Cannon and Vardy, or Cannon and Deco, or Vardy and Deco. We had 2 on up front anyway. So it was interesting to go into the Shrewsbury game to see how we set up. And it was interesting because we didn't play with the 2 up top, but we did play something. And don't shoot the messenger, because it was me viewing with my own eyes something similar to last season in terms of the formation, that we played out of possession, or sorry, in possession, should I say. So I'm just going to bring a little picture up here. Now, this isn't the team that we played the other night. It's a bit of a pick and mix of players that played the other night and also players that are due to come back. But when we were in, we defended in like a 4-4-2, 2 banks of 4 and then 2. But in possession, interestingly, we actually changed to this, which a lot of people will see and look at and go, huh, that looks familiar. Well, yeah, it is familiar because it is basically what we played last season under Enzo Maresca. There is a big difference, though, and that's actually the personnel and the roles within the team. So, as you'll see, where Wilfred Ndidi is, that is where Ricardo Pereira played last season. Ricardo Pereira would invert from right back into that little double pivot with Winks. And then you had Fatu on the right, Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall in the middle, and Mavididi on the left. But what was happening was no one was inverting into midfield, well, into the double pivot. Ndidi and Winks were there the whole time. But McAteer was actually playing out wide right, and he inverted into the advanced 8 or 10 role. That allowed space for then Ricardo to operate in the right winger position. Now, that was interesting to see because, again, similar formation in possession to Enzo Maresca, but rather than the fullback inverting, the winger actually inverted. McAteer, in this example, was inverting into midfield, and Ricardo then was taken at the right wing position, which makes sense why we saw Fatu on the left, because you don't really want Fatu operating in that centre, in that position, central position where McAteer is there. You do want him to kind of keep the width. And then obviously Fatu going out wide left allowed Mavididi to come into the middle and have a bit of creativity in there now that Dewsbury Hall's gone. So it was new. There were some bits that we saw last year, like I said. Ricardo Pereira, rather than operating in the middle, was kind of, like I said, on the right wing, which, you know, we've seen bits of in the past, but we don't see it too often. So, yeah, it was really interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think to all of that, because, yeah, as I said, I found it really interesting, and it would also make sense to me why we appear to be going after a right winger that could also play in the number 10 or attacker midfield spot, because Matthias Sula, that deal isn't happening now, but we were after him. And now Reece Nelson from Arsenal, he's a right winger or a left winger who can also operate in the middle. So that makes sense. So, you know, Steve Cooper's a pragmatic manager. We've been saying this for the last few weeks. You know, if something isn't working, he will change it up. So this is not set in stone. This is not a principles type system where we will not change from it like Enzo Maresca. This is purely just something that Steve Cooper tried out, and we might see more of this season. But I believe from his time at Forest as well, he likes to change in formation. He will switch things up. So we won't see this every week. But against the weaker opposition in the league, this is definitely something we might see. You've got to think, I don't think it's a coincidence that we played more of a 4-4-2 against Villarreal, who are a stronger team. And then we played this type of system here against against Shrewsbury, who are a much worse opposition than us. So, yeah, and that is something new for the players as well. You know, a different system every week and whatever. We had a bit of rotation in formation, I suppose, with Brendan Rodgers as well. I think not the year we got relegated, the year before, we would always switch between a 4 and a 3 or a 5. So, yeah, let's get some comments up quickly. Ben says, Locks, really want to know your opinion on who you think we should sell. Well, Harry Souttar's the first one, I'll say, because he's linked with a loan move now. I think we've got too many centre-backs at the moment, which is mad. We've got Vestergaard, we've got Fast, we've got Coley, we've got Cody, we've got Nelson, we've got Souttar. So I think Souttar we should try and get rid of if we can. It looks like it might be unlikely. It looks like it might be a loan, but it is what it is. Fair enough. Who else? I'm seeing links for McAteer to go out on loan. I don't really agree with it. I think he's a good player to have on the bench or as depth, or, you know, we're still going to have cup games this season, and you don't want to play your full strength team, I suppose, if you match up against maybe a Shrewsbury, for example. So I think you want good depth, and McAteer, you know, he's not the most talented of players right now. He's not the most technically gifted player, but he's a good option to have, whether it's off the bench, as depth if there's injuries. So I don't want him to go, but I wouldn't be devastated if he did. I've seen rumours of Tom Cannon going out on loan. I still don't get them. Don't understand it. I think we keep him around. And other than that, I don't know who we sell. Is Boubacar Samari going to be wanting to leave? He played the other night, but is he going to want to leave to a more established or, a Champions League club like he did last year? Victor Christiansen, we haven't seen a sight of yet. He'll be coming back either now or very shortly from Denmark. So maybe he'll want to go. There's been rumours with him all summer about going back to Bologna on a permanent move, but they don't want to pay the money. So, if they ain't going to pay the money, I'd say F off. You know what I mean? So Danny Ward, Scott says here, well, we've heard this week that, I don't know if it was John Percy, that, he's on 50 grand a week. So we're struggling to get him off to get him to move, to get a transfer in for him, which, I don't blame clubs for saying absolutely not to Danny Ward. He's probably very happy with staying at our 5-star lads holiday complex, which is Seagrove. He's probably happy there. And now he's got a fellow Welshman in Steve Cooper as his manager. Maybe he'll get some game time. I hope not, but you never know. Luke Thomas, get rid, in my opinion. I think he's absolutely awful. I'm sure he'd be good at a Championship club. Premier League level, I don't think so. I think the left-back position now is the one that we actually really need to focus on. Because even if Christiansen isn't leaving, we need someone to play back up to him. And I don't think Luke Thomas is it. I honestly don't believe Luke Thomas is anywhere near a Premier League footballer, if I'm honest. He came through the academy. He burst onto the scene, if you like, in the COVID season at the end of it. He did all right. But you've seen him time and time again against wingers like Mo Salah, against even Nicolas Pepe comes to mind. When we played Arsenal one year, he played against Nicolas Pepe and it was honking. It was honking. So, yeah, I don't think he's good enough. He conceded goal after goal after goal after goal against for Sheffield United. I know it wasn't just him, it was others. But, yeah, I just don't think he's good enough. He seems like a nice guy. He's a Leicester lad. But, I just don't think he's good enough at all. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry, but I just don't. Samari Ward, Daka. Yeah, I think Daka's going to stay, to be honest with you. I can't see us getting rid of him. I think he'll stick around. I think Cooper will put his faith in him, see what he can do. I do fear that, he had a good game against Shrewsbury. I'm not going to lie about that. He did all right against Shrewsbury, actually. He did quite well, actually. He was probably one of our better players in the first half. However, I just fear that in a year's time, we'll be saying the same thing that we've been saying for the last 3 years, and that he's not good enough and he can't hit a barn door. He can't finish. I saw Reedy the other day saying, I hope he gets the service this year. Reedy, mate, what are you smoking? He got service last season and he put shot after shot after shot over the bar, past the post, into the keeper's arms. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So he scored some goals. Granted, he scored some goals. He scored 10 goals or something up until January and then probably scored one after that. He did okay. But Vardy outperformed him, as always, as he has done for the last 4 seasons. And I think a 38 or 39, however old Vardy's now, 38. I think a 38-year-old Vardy outperforms him again this season. When you've got a 38-year-old outperforming a 20, what is he, 20, what is Patson Daka? I don't even know how Patson Daka is. I've just tried to get him out of my mind. 25. You've got a 38-year-old outperforming a 25-year-old season after season. There's something seriously wrong. But I'm happy to see him given a chance under Steve Cooper. So, yeah. Daka's crap unless it's a 2-trade tap. Yeah, it's true. Enzo falling out with Chelsea. I don't think he's falling out, Patrick. I just think he's defending his system. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Be better off playing golf shoots at the goal and it's a quarter. Honestly, I think I just nearly had a stroke reading that comment. Thank you. Be better off playing golf shoots at the goal and it's the corner flood. Does anybody... Let me get Jono in. Jono, do you understand this? I don't even understand what that says, honestly. Jane, put your comment in again and explain what you mean, because I'm like reading it and I'm like...
I think he might mean like he's better at playing golf than he might be at maybe he shoots towards the corner flag, maybe.
Oh, it shoots at the goal and it hits the corner flag. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Jane, I was just seeing words and they weren't making sense. Jono, mate, let's just talk about what I was just talking about. So sales. I saw your message in the chat earlier on saying I think your words were Daka. Hold on, let me remember this. Daka McAteer Ward. I think the McAteer shot's a bit harsh, but talk to me.
If we get Reece Nelson, then I think we can sell McAteer. Because I think Reece Nelson would be a good replacement for Dewsbury Hall. But the main players I want to see go are Christensen, Luke Thomas.
Christensen? Why do you want to see him go?
Luke Thomas.
Oh, okay.
I'll see Luke Thomas go. He doesn't play anymore. Suter, I want to go because I don't think he's got enough experience.
He don't play, does he? He never plays.
No. Ward needs to get off that, but I think as a community of Leicester fans, we should come together and say, look, Ward, here's some money. We'll pay you ourselves. Go. Because honestly, he's I think he was the worst goalkeeper I've ever seen in Premier League history. Ever. When he played.
Well, he's up there. He's definitely up there, man. Yeah. Let's move on to Reece Nelson now. So Reece Nelson's linked. So he's been at Arsenal pretty much his whole career. Yeah. He's been on loan to a couple different teams abroad as well. I think I want to say Hoffenheim maybe, but bit part player for Arsenal. Depth, if anything. Looked promising early on in his career, but he plays on the left, he plays on the right, and he can play in the middle. Scored an absolute beauty of a goal last season for Arsenal to get a last-minute winner. I can't remember who it was against. Bournemouth, great goal. But because for me, mate, there's no doubt that there's a player in there, but it's just that he hasn't had enough games for Arsenal consistently because of Bukayo Saka. You know, that's not Arsenal's fault. Bukayo Saka, one of the best wingers in the world in the Premier League, definitely Arsenal's best winger. Nelson isn't going to get in, is he, much? So it is only when he's injured, when Saka's injured. And even then, you've got Martinelli, you've got Trossard, you've got Odegaard who can play out wide sometimes, you know. So I like the sign-in. It's a loan with an obligation to buy. I would imagine the obligation is cancelled if we are relegated because, number one, we probably don't want to pay the money. And number two, the player probably wouldn't want to come if we get relegated. No. So do you think it's a good signing?
Great signing. Great. Like, if watch the highlights against Bournemouth in the pre-season friendly they had last night, he scored a really good goal. And Carl was put a comment saying Nelson can't score to save his life. He scored a screamer last night. So,
not last night.
Well, for 3 in the morning when they played.
No, he got an assist, didn't score. He got
he got an assist, but
good assist. But last season he scored a screamer. Yeah, for Arsenal last season. Yeah, class.
But he, I think it's really good. I think it'd be a great signing. I think players like him coming to Leicester would really help us stabilise the Premier League Cup again, not like a championship fodder. Like Sheffield United, Burnley were last season.
Yeah, Carl, can you remind me how many goals Albrighton scored? Because I'll tell you right, it weren't that many. Some wingers aren't goal scorers. Mark Albrighton didn't score many goals, did he? Come on. So I think we all liked having him around. So I think it's a bit narrow-minded to just say, he doesn't score, so we can't.
It's versatile. You need in the Premier League. You need players that can play different positions, and I think he'll be good.
Yeah. I never sit on the fence, Ben. Don't worry. Let me bring in Ben for a moment. So not Ben Corral, but a different Ben Morgan. Hello, mate. You all right?
How are you, Knox? You all right, mate? John, you all right, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. Yeah, so
good,
Casey McAteer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Jono doesn't like... Well, Jono might like him, but Jono
doesn't
value him.
I think if his Sula deal's dead in the water, as it looks like, he's going to Roma.
He's going to Roma.
So we need somebody who's going to play behind the strikers, who can do it. And to me, Casey is a player that can do the job. So why are we going to let him go out?
Yeah. I agree with you, mate. I think it's a good player to have around. And remember, he'll class as homegrown if for when we get Champions League as well, won't he? So no, I'm joking. Yeah, I think it's a good option, a good bit of depth to have in the squad. You know, he might want to play a lot of minutes, or he might want to go somewhere that has game time. But I think if we can offer him some minutes, you know, here and there, I think he'd much rather stay around this season.
I think Casey could do a job. I mean, even off the bench, I think Casey could offer something to us this season. We need squad depth, so we can't just send everybody out to Cardiff or wherever. Well, we need people to help keep us up.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this, Ben. I don't know how much you know about Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson's getting some stick in the chat because people are saying he doesn't score, whatever. I think you'll find, Scott, that the difference is Albrighton could put it in an area where players can attack and could pick out players frequently. Can this player? I mean, Scott, like I said, he's not had too many minutes for Arsenal recently. When he has, he's actually done well. I had an Arsenal fan message me yesterday when the team news came out telling me that he thinks it would be a good signing for Leicester. Nelson can beat his man very well. He can do that. You know, people say that the montages on YouTube, if you like, make any player look good. But if you look at it, you'll see the proof that he can beat his man and he can put the ball in and he can actually finish. He doesn't score many goals, but he can finish. Do you like this? Do you like this signing, Ben, if it happens?
Yeah, Nelson. Yeah, I think he can play as a winger, or he can play as a central player behind the striker. I believe it because I mean, we've got an abundance of wingers now. We've got Fatu. I mean, Mavropanos in the form of his life pre-season. He's banged 2 and 2. We've got Bobby Reid, and then obviously Reece can he can play as a winger or behind the strikers. I think it's a win-win for Leicester, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Ben, cheers for clicking on, mate. Thanks for coming to have your say. Make sure click on next week as well, and we can chat about. All right, cheers, mate. Here's a question, John. I was having this conversation with Reedy the other night because I said that I think we should sell Wout Faes. I said this to Reedy the other night, and he told me to get lost. But I think we should sell Faes, and the reason for it, and it's a worrying thing, really, that he's probably the most sellable asset we actually have right now, which is crazy because he's not amazing, but he's probably the most sellable right now, and I think we could get a decent amount of money for him. And if he is, I think he flirted with leaving last summer, and I think he's been flirting this summer as well. There was crazy rumors that Barcelona were into him. I don't know how true that is, but I still think there will be maybe a Europa League or Conference League kind of team around that level, top half or mid-table Premier League team that might pay for him. But what do you think? Do you think we should keep him? That should be a priority to keep him around, or do you think do you think he would be that much of a miss?
Keep him. We centre backs is in a position we don't actually need to focus on. We've just got Okoli. He made one error for the own goal against Shrewsbury, but apart from that, he was really good. But we need depth. Souter looks like he's going on loan to Stoke, so keep him. He's got Premier League experience. He knows the team well, and plus, I don't think he's our most biggest asset. I think our biggest asset now is Hermansen at the moment.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I just when I say most sellable asset, I mean because obviously Hermansen's only been here for a year. I could say Mavropanos or someone like that. But
if a team comes and flirts with buying him, I reckon Leicester put a stamp 45 million, no lower, because
for Faes?
For him. No, for Hermansen.
I was gonna say, mate.
For Faes, keep him. I can't see us buying another defender of that quality without paying a Premier League premium.
Do you not think? Do you think Faes is of that quality? What
quality? No, but who can you think of for buying a centre back?
I see a relegated centre back. I see a player that looked okay in the relegation season, because he was playing next to a championship centre back in Harry Souttar. That's the way I look at it.
Who would you buy then? Who would you buy that's that good of a quality for the same price?
Well, you know who's up for sale right now? Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. He's up for sale. He's a better centre back. He's better than Wout Faes. Oh, Reedy, behave, mate. You think Faes is better than Trevor Chalobah?
Bring him in.
Oh my God, what a joke of a man! How is Wout Faes better than Trevor bloody Chalobah?
Mate, Trevor Chalobah's been at Trevor Chalobah has been at Chelsea for so many years. He barely gets any game time, mate. You wonder why? Because he's average.
Oh yeah, because of Thiago Silva, probably, mate. Thiago Silva, you know who that is? Yeah, I don't think.
Bell, ding ding ding.
Trevor Chalobah is Wout Faes is not a better centre back than Trevor Chalobah. Really, mate.
Mate, when you were saying about 45 million, you thought it was about Faes. Are you saying he shouldn't be that much? You saying he's only worth like 15, 20 million?
What?
Or
Faes?
Yeah.
Faes probably 20 mil, something like that. Yeah, 20 mil.
Nah, I'm all good, thanks.
You think I'd get 40 million for Faes?
Yeah, by easily, yeah, mate. That's just me. That's just me. But Belgium international plays most majority of the time at centre back for Belgium. I'd say he's an international. Good quality.
Wout Faes, over £40 million. Is that what you actually believe? When, bear in mind, James Maddison, 40 million. Harvey Barnes, 30.
Yeah. Relegation tax.
30. Dewsbury Hall, 30. Wout Faes, 40. Mate, it ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing, mate.
But half of them players just went for cheap because it was relegation.
Anyway. Yeah, well, it is what it is. We have different valuations. We clearly have different opinions on how good Wout Faes is. I think Vestergaard was better than him last season for starters. You know what I mean?
I do think we need a new centre back to replace as another like. I think Wout Faes is good enough. I think he's good enough to play in this team.
Well, yeah, he's good enough to play in this team. Of course he is, because everyone else is crap. You know what I mean? The others are crap. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying Wout Faes is it shouldn't be in this current team. I'm just saying that the others are crap. And Vestergaard obviously has just signed a contract. Souttar isn't going to get any money. You know, Wout Faes, in my opinion, I know you disagree really, but in my opinion, you could get 20, 25 million for him, 15, 20, 25 million for him, and you can reinvest that. And I just want to bring up a comment. Ian said here, Faes was a liability in the championship, Reedy. He cost us goals, quite a few goals in the championship. I mean, just think of the whole game, for example. I don't know if you went to the whole game, if you remember it, but that for example, that just stands out in my mind. So I just think
he's a more of an aggressive style of footballer, like a Coley is. He likes going forward in a way where he can try and tackle and get the ball back quite high up, which again can be bad in some cases. But for me, that season, I'd much rather Faes start in front of, I will say it, Vestergaard, because I don't think, if we're playing back two, I'd put Coley and Faes in. I wouldn't play Vestergaard, but if we're back three, then yeah, I would. But yeah, Faes is over Cody.
You're saying you play Cody over?
I'd play Faes over Cody easily.
Yeah, but you were saying you'd rather Faes and
a Coley.
A Coley over
in about two.
So do you think Faes is a better defender than Yannick Vestergaard?
It all depends on what style you're playing. If you're playing possession football at the back, playing from the back, no. But if you're playing counter-attack football where you're two centre-backs in the middle with two left-back and right-back, then yeah, I would say he's better suited there because he's just a bit more aggressive and you need to be more aggressive.
Well, you tell me, Johnny. In my opinion, Vestergaard is better at both things. I think Vestergaard's a better defender and a better player of the ball.
I'm just remembering.
I just think Faes is quicker. I think that's the only thing that I honestly think the only thing Faes has on Vestergaard is pace. That's, in my opinion, that's all he's got.
But if you look at the Premier League season we got relegated, Vestergaard was a factor in us going down because the amount of times players overlapped him was a joke.
Who?
So, Vestergaard.
Well, he barely played. He played like 4 games.
He did not play 4 games in the Premier League.
Wait, Wait, you said about Vestergaard being
Yeah.
a big reason why we got relegated? No chance. He got brought on at like 1-1. He got brought on at 1-1 to try and survive the game out. And because we conceded late on, most of the time the fans blamed it on Vestergaard getting put on the pitch.
Yeah, Vestergaard. I mean, Vestergaard was bad when he played. I'm not disagreeing with that, but he barely played any games. I just think, personally, I think Vestergaard is, look, Vestergaard's older than Fass. Fass is quicker.
What you play? Are you playing 3 at the back and 2 inverted wing backs, or are you playing 4?
Well, for me, it doesn't matter. I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. I think Vestergaard is, I think Vestergaard. If we were playing more possession based, and in a position where we could get caught on the counter a lot, then I say Fass is quicker. So Fass is probably the better option. But we ain't going to have much of the ball. We ain't going to be playing with a high line. We'll be playing quite with a.
But that's where in a back 2 you probably wouldn't want Vestergaard in there because you're not going to be playing possession-based football.
I think it'll be Cody in.
And then you're also not relying on that much.
I'd rather not have Cody even in the starting 11, mate. Christ. Cody is past it.
I haven't seen enough of Cody to make a massive judgment. I think what happened is that Cody came in after we got relegated. We were all like buzzing when he came in, and then Vestergaard surprisingly was really good, and Enzo stuck with him. So I don't think we've seen enough.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened, John. Yeah, because
I don't think I've seen enough of Cody to judge him on being really good or really bad. I need to see more of him.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. He's older now as well, but I don't think it was a great signing for the money. If it was 2, 3, 4 million, I think it would have been a good signing. But 8 million, I think we paid for Cody. It's a bit crazy. I'm still shell shocked about Reedy. Thinking about Fass's Franz Beckenbauer, I think 40
Mate, it's David Luiz.
There's no chance on earth Chalobah will come to Leicester anyway.
I disagree. I think he would. It depends on who else was in for him. But anyway,
I'll tell you now. I think Coley. Obviously, you're not seeing anything of him, but I'd say I've always kind of like not related him, but put him to the likes of Fofana. I feel like he's a fast defender who knows what he's doing going forward. So I think he will be probably one of our best defenders next year.
Well, I hope so, because we're going to need it. Right, Johnny, mate, before I get rid of you, my question for you is, tomorrow night, do you think it will be just more of the same, one half of one team and another half of another team? Personally, I'd like to see, because this will be the 3rd game of pre-season, maybe first half, as full strength as possible, and then second half, the second string team. What are you thinking? What do you think? What would you like to see tomorrow night?
We've got 3 games left, so I would like to see pretty much the same, but I would agree make one half of the game a strong team, a stronger team of more first team players, and the second half would be more the younger players and that have come on. But pretty much the same, because we've got 2 games after that. We've got Lons and Augsburg, whether how to pronounce that team. But
August, September, October. What was that? What you were saying? Were you saying the days of the
Augsburg?
Year, mate? Oh, right. Sorry.
No, I wasn't saying the month. No, I think we've got enough time after this game to get our main team sorted out by the end of the pre-season. So I think another game like that, but more full strength in one half than the other.
Yeah. All right, mate. All right, Sam. Cheers, Johnny, mate. Thanks for joining me. Much appreciated. I'll see you next time. Yeah. See you in a bit.
See you later, man.
Right, Reedy. What about you tomorrow, mate? What do you want to see? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see?
As long as Danny Ward's not in goal, I'll be happy.
Well, he's going to. He's going to be in it, because we've
is Mads back or?
I think he is actually. Yeah, you're right. But
if Mads is back, he has to start, because again, the more, in my eyes, the more that Cooper starts Ward, the more I'll feel like he's going to be wanting to start him next season. I honestly feel that. The more he plays him, the more likely he's going to be like, oh, you know what? He's my guy to be starting next season.
Just because he's Welsh, or?
A bit, but more for the point of if Mads is back, you put him into the side. You've got to get him in game time. There's only 3 games left.
Yeah.
For me, do you start Vestergaard if he's back? I don't know, but
I mean, you'd imagine all 3 are back. Because if Mads is back, then Christiansen and Vestergaard is back as well.
Again,
I just think the outfield. Well, the outfield players might need to catch up a little bit. You know what I mean? And a few extra days before going into a team. Whereas Hermanson might be all right. It depends on how far Jamaica made it in the
because it's all the signings and all that now that we want to see, because we don't want to play with the same team again, and then it gets to the point where the new boys or the people that are coming back from the Euros or the Cup of Nations, or not the Cup of Nations, the Copa America, you've got to make sure that they're getting game time before we start the season.
So just on this comment, going backwards, so really you'd rather us sell Cody and Suter?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Just because Suter alone is not good enough for us, and Cody, in my eyes, is past it, and I'd rather have a younger.
Well, here's the question then, because if you think Fass is worth 40, do you not think we could replace him with someone better? Do you don't think that 40 million? You don't think there's a better centre back out there? Do you think Fass is the best centre back out there?
No.
At 40 million.
No, but I couldn't name you a player that would be as good, because for me, he is kind of a staple to how the defence works, because we've had him for quite a few years now, haven't we? So it's like for Fafana coming in. When we thought Fafana came in, we didn't really know much of him, and he fucking blew the.
He was good though.
He blew the team on fire, and that's why I think someone like a Coley will be that sort of player, which obviously probably not as good, but I honestly think that sort of player would be that. But I don't know. Again, I just want to see some nice, some new additions to the team, as in if it's been the loan players from last season or the new players that we've signed. So I don't want to see too many academy players.
Let's fast forward to the first game of the season against Tottenham. How many of them do you think start?
Every single one of them, but Casey McAteer.
So you only think? So, all right, okay. So you think that is the starting 11, bar McAteer, and what? Yes. Reece Nelson in there instead of McAteer.
Whoever we buy, yeah.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Reece Nelson.
Well, yeah. Like I say, it's close to as it possibly can be. Again, depending on what formation we play, if it's 3 at the back or 4 at the back, then it just
and
changes.
And you'd have Mavididi in the 10 over Bobby Dickwood over Reed.
With the players we've got who can play in that 10 role, I said to you last night, I would see Mavididi in that role over most majority of players, and that means that Fatui would go on the left wing, because Reece Nelson is more of a right winger, isn't he? So
yeah, and we now know if that.
Which again, I think we've all said that Fatui doesn't work on the left hand side, but that's because we only saw him 1 game last season. In that that left hand side, I do feel like he could work better in that side. I don't know.
I'm surprised you didn't say Patson Daka in there, mate, instead of Vardy.
Well, it's gonna be a switch around, isn't it? So I don't think Vardy's going to start every game. I think he can, because it's only once a week now. But I think there's a chance.
I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't think he can, mate. I think it's going to be every other game, or
we've got 2 players that looks exactly the same in the pace department and hopefully finishing department. So,
what'd you say, mate? We've got what? We got what?
I said we've got 2 players that are near enough the same anyway, pace wise and finishing wise. But
I'd say, I'd say just scrap the number 10 idea for Mavididi and play him up front over Patson Daka. That's what I'd say, mate. But yeah, I gave him his credit. To be fair, I said he was good the other night, but I did slag you. I don't know if you were listening. I did slag your comment off, saying about how he doesn't get service, which I think is baffling, because I think he got plenty of service last season, and he just put them over the bar or wide or into the keeper's arms, or he was offside.
They didn't get as much service as they probably wanted to by always coming into the middle.
It's his composure, mate. He just doesn't. He has a finish on him. But his composure. He's like a chicken. He's like a a rabbit in headlights. He doesn't know, like, when a ball gets fed into him, I think his mind teleports and he thinks he's on like a dance floor or something, and he's like, he just doesn't know what to do.
Who's the better striker, Kelechi Iheanacho or Daka?
Kelechi Iheanacho is a better striker than Patson Daka. Yeah, I agree with that. But you think Daka's better than Iheanacho, which is, I mean, if you went off the goals he scored in Austria, then yeah, I'd agree with you, mate. But what's he done since then? You know what I mean? And Iheanacho was more of a versatile player anyway, in terms of he could play, he drop deep more. Whereas Daka does seem to be a one-trick pony in the sense that he can finish it if it's 2 yards out and an open goal. That's what I think. But that's about it. But anyway, I hope he proves us wrong. Like we say, he did all right the other night. His touch looks better and yeah. Anyway, all right, mate. I'll let you go because it's 45 minutes now. So best end it there. Score prediction tomorrow, like it matters. I'm going to say
2-2.
No, I was going to say like 3-2-1. Who cares? You know what I mean? Who actually cares? I don't think anyone really cares.
I think we'll struggle to them, you know.
And I think it's £10 again to watch it on Fox's Hub. I think if people want to do that, or if people want to watch it for free somehow. Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't say much, should I? But yeah, I'll leave it there. All right, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Reedy. Cheers. Thanks. We'll see Reedy on Sunday, won't we? Giving Jamie from the Fox's Arms a hand.
Sorry, just digging him out. There you go.
Digging who out?
Jamie out the ground.
Oh yeah. You went like that, mate. You went like that. Hey, remember, since you've been in nappies, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, I like Nacho, but I think Daka will help us this year. 2-1 Leicester and 3 goals scored by Leicester. Oh, another own goal, yeah. Who's scoring the own goal tomorrow? My guess is Daka. Daka's going to score an own goal. Craig reckons a draw, and I see Ndidi and McAteer not making the starting lineup with Nelson and Dick over Reed coming. Who's going to play in midfield? Deckard over Reed can't play defensive midfield, mate, Scott. So I think Ndidi and Winks is safe. I think it'll be. I think Ndidi and Winks will be the starters, and I think it'll be Samari, Sammy Braybrook, maybe. Yeah. And then from what I've seen, Michael Golden is more of an attack midfielder anyway. So maybe he's versatile. Maybe he can play further back. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Much appreciated. I'll be back maybe next Thursday, maybe the Thursday after. Who knows? Someone will, yeah. There's nothing to talk about, so it's not every week. But there probably will be more stuff to talk about now. So, yeah, 6:30 next Thursday. And then Jamie from the Fox's Arms will be here on Sunday at 9:30. 10? Half 9. Jamie will be here. Both Jamies probably will be here 9:30 next Sunday. So make sure you tune into that. And yeah, anyone who's going to the game tomorrow, I'll see you there. And I need to go and catch up with Reedy now, so he can tell me all about his date that he just had. See you in a bit.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everards, Barlow Blinds, Pukka Pies, Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hollogram, Take Me, Newby Co, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit LeicesterFanTV.com for all the latest news, views and videos.